I've decided it's tier list time because I'm tilted. Diva is A, incredibly good at killing the backline. That's really all you need to know. Defense Matrix is ludicrously overpowered. She actually eats on some poke maps because she's pretty good into Sigma. She's not the best, but she's okay. And she's great into Hitscan. And obviously, Hitscan is very strong. So she's pretty good. And she's great at peel, so it's fantastic. Doom is A tier. Feels like dog shit to play, but he rolls when he's good. If you're really, really good at the hero, you got a lot of potential out of him. He is really, really easy to shut down, is the problem, but it's fine. It's made up for in the fact that he's very strong if played absolutely correctly. So that's an A tier. Queen, I think, is B tier. She just kind of gets rolled over by certain things. Like, if you build a decent comp for a queen, then she's not too bad on some maps because you can rush, which is why she's in B tier. But generally speaking, she's relatively easy to shut down because, I mean, once she kind of exhausts all of her cooldowns and her rush, she's super vulnerable. So anything like poke related just kind of kills her. So I think queen is not very good. But B tier is okay because she's got her moments. I think Mauga is A tier because he's fucking Mauga and he's cardiac overdrive, which is probably one of the most overpowered abilities in the entire game. I think everyone knows that, and he just like fries tanks. So if you're on any map with like relatively brawlish possibilities, he just kind of wins. Same thing with Orisa. She just is unkillable and kills everything. She is death, destroyer of worlds. Lame ass character. Ram is B, just gets dumpstered by Mauga, but he's pretty good on some brawl maps. He's not the worst, but he's not the best option. He's really good into Venture, which is why he's B. I probably would have put him lower if he wasn't so good into Venture, but he's very, very good at killing Venture. So, B. I think Ryan is D. Horrible, horrible hero. Easily the worst tank in the game. It's not even close. Feels like dog shit to play. Dog shit stats. Not really playable on any maps with any comps. Just really, 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 really trash. You can play him absolutely perfectly and lose. So obviously D tier. Basically unplayable. Hog is A. Just, he does nothing but kill people. He's basically just a fat DPS. I don't really need to say more. He's literally just like win by default if you're pretty good at landing your hooks. And they're not running like Weaver carry, and even if they are running Weaver carry, you're probably gonna have Tracer Sombra, so it doesn't really fucking matter in the first place. Sigma's S. Sigma's incredibly good, because he's just like an actual 5v5 tank. He was a tank built for 5v5, therefore he excels in it. Basically playable on every map for the most part. Super reliable everywhere. Comfort pick generally because he's relatively easy to play. I think it's good. Monkey is A tier. Fantastic hero. Well, you know what, actually? Yeah, I think he is A tier. I think Monkey's really, really strong. Especially into matchups that don't involve Orisa or Mauga or Hog. If you're going into them, then you're having a pretty rough time. But basically into anything else, you're eating up. Backline is... After the buffs to him being able to shoot through armor, he's really, really quite strong now. Because, like, even if you're going against like a super heavy break backline with a ton of peel, doesn't matter. You just cleave straight through it, which is super important for him. It's a huge buff. I think Brawl is D. He just sucks. I don't know. He's just really, 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 really shit. Probably the worst tank in the game next to Ryan. I mean, they're pretty comparable with how bad they are. I think Ball has slightly more... I'm going to actually put Ball in C tier because he is genuinely a little bit playable. If they don't run chain CC, then he's actually not that bad. But as soon as they go CC comp, you just lose. Like, as soon as there's a Sombra on the enemy team, it's over. Kree on the enemy team, it's over. Brig, it's over. Lucio, it's over. Orisa, it's over. He just can't play the hero into card control at all. He just loses by default. I think Zarya's B, good comfort pick, high damage output, gets smoked by most of the other tanks, and generally speaking, you have to be really, 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 really shit at playing into Zarya to really lose to her in a lot of cases, because if you're playing, like in Grandmaster, for example, the only time you're really losing to Zarya is if the whole comp is built around the Zarya. You're not really losing to a Zarya comfort pick really ever, most of the time. I mean, she's pretty good into Orisa, obviously. But even then, Orisa's so good that it just doesn't fucking really matter anyway, to be honest. Ashe is A tier. Ashe is incredibly strong. Hitscan hero. Therefore, they're just good by default because Blizzard loves Hitscan. Dynamite is insanely good as well, even though the health buff didn't... I'm pretty sure they didn't buff it after the health buffs. So it's generally a little weaker than it was. Doesn't matter. That ability was overpowered before the health buffs anyway, so it's still strong. So who cares? Generally, just pretty good. Stand in the back line. shoot people, win. The only time she's not good is when they're running like super heavy dive, and even then, she's really not that bad. Bastion is only good against Monkey, so he's B tier, maybe even C tier actually. He's pretty bad. I would say Bastion is good against a very few number of tanks, and when those tanks aren't picked, he just kind of sucks. So I think C tier is a good place for him because he's still got a lot of kill potential and squishies, and he's a great counter pick for a lot of the tanks, but he's not something that you're going to be running because he works all the time. He's pretty niche. So I would say C tier is good for him. I think McCree is A tier. I think he's very good. Because obviously he is. All the people who whine and bitch and complain about McCree not being good are dumb. McCree is very, very good. I don't think he's as good as Ashe. So maybe even B tier, but I mean, I'm considering putting Ashe in S tier. Like, Ashe is so good. McCree's just like win by default to most flank heroes if you have like okay aim. Like, McCree is, generally speaking, he's like 30% positioning and then like 70% aim. And if you have good aim and you're frying Tracer, then you're fine. Like, you really just, as long as you're good at clicking on people, McCree is very good. And if you suck at clicking on people, then McCree is bad. Which makes the hero really lame after season 9 because of the changes. So cool. I think Echo is B tier mostly because Hitscan is very good. I think if Hitscan weren't as good, she'd be much higher because she is very strong. But in a lot of cases, especially on maps where Hitscans are powerful, Echo can be really difficult to run unless you're like Samito. Then it doesn't fucking matter because you just kill them anyway. But generally speaking, for the majority of Echo players, you're going to have a really difficult time playing into these Hitscan heavy maps. I think B tier is good for her because she's got a lot of potential, but she's also relatively easy to shut down, especially with Mercy not being good. Okay, here we go. We got a new tier added. Trash. Genji, worst hero in the game. Again, for another season. It's not even comparable. Don't say Junkrat is worse. I can see an argument for Hanzo being worse. He's really, 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 really bad as well. But Genji is fucking horrible. He's horrible into every hero that's good. He's horrible into every hero that's bad. He is statistically dog shit. His abilities don't work in the game anymore. He's a buggy mess. His damage output sucks. He has basically zero kill potential against any of the heroes that are remotely okay. The maps suck for him. The format sucks for him. Every single conceivable thought about Overwatch contradicts Genji in every way. And he is by far the worst hero in the game. He is genuinely a throw pick. It is not even debatable. He is the worst hero in the entire game. And so is Hanzo. Hanzo is so trash. I can't even begin to go over the reasons why Hanzo sucks. Because, okay, look at it this way. Hanzo is a Brawl hero now. He's not a sniper hero anymore because you're not rewarded for being accurate with your snipes because one shot doesn't exist anymore for whatever reason. I get it. Hanzo one-shot was lame sometimes. But you know what wasn't lame 90% of the time? When the Hanzo actually deserved to get his kill because he actually outplayed someone and he aimed well and he hit his shot. And all the people who say he shot logs, dude, his projectiles were teeny tiny. His projectiles were so small. They were super, super small. So people saying, oh, I'm getting logged, you're thinking of like 8 years ago when they were actually quite big. But now they're tiny. Hanzo sucks. He gets rolled by every character in the game, basically. He doesn't have a niche anymore. He's not a sniper. He's a Brawl character. And even then, I think every other character in the game is better at brawling than he is. Pointless hero. Awful. Junkrat is deep. Fucking horrible as well. Don't pick him. Throw pick as well. Borderline throw pick. I genuinely cannot think of a single reason as to why you would run this hero. He might even deserve the trash tier, honestly. Honestly, I'm repicking. I'm renaming this. Throw pick. There you go. I think Junkrat is not quite a throw pick because he still can burst down targets that are... Like, if someone's taking a bit of chip damage, then he can combo them. But, like, other than that, I don't know. He is pretty bad. I think Junk is really fucking bad. I think D tier is fine for him, though. He's still, like, okay. Actually, I think Ryan's a throw pick. Ryan is really fucking ass. Oh, my God. Mei is B because it's Mei. She's the tank hero in the DPS role. She's a lot worse than she used to be because she can't right click the tracer anymore. She can't one shot headshot tracer anymore, so she kind of lost her only purpose in tracer matchup. So there's that. She can't play into tracer anymore. Indirect tracer buff. Who could have seen that coming? She's okay on some maps. Good map control, good zoning ults, or good zoning abilities. I mean, she works okay in most Brawl comps, but who the fuck plays Brawl anymore unless you just want to lose? Pharah is like C. I think she sucks, to be honest. She's really easy to kill, and you need to run. Here's the thing, right? Is if you want to play Pharah, you have to play Mercy most of the time, and if you play Mercy, you just kind of lose by default because that character sucks as well. So there's just no point. The only way to run a trash hero is to run another trash hero. Like, you're eating 2 slots to run complete garbage. It's just bad. I think Reaper's A. I think Reaper's really good. I see a lot of people calling Reaper trash, which is really fucking funny considering he's actually very good. Reaper is super strong because his bullets are enormous now. So you don't need to be like point blank from people anymore. The reason people think Reaper sucks is because they think you have to stand on top of people to use them effectively now, which is not true at all. Go into like a quick play game, run some Reaper, and like shoot it like 3 times the distance you usually would, and you're still chunking people for like a quarter of their health bar. He is really, really strong when you know how to use him, and people saying he's bad are just wrong. He's actually very good. Sojourn, it's just like broken ass fucking character. Everyone knows this. Railgun, still broken. Projectile shot, still broken. The AoE shit, still broken. Slide is still broken. Her hitbox is still too small. Her ult is still way too good. She's just broken as shit. She's just literally the by definition of the word power creep. Like, we had Soldier in the game, and like, what if we just made Soldier better and then put Sojourn in the game? It is the literal definition of power creep. What a dumb character. Everything about Sojourn is overpowered. She doesn't have a single aspect or part of her kit that's balanced. I hate every aspect of it. It's lame to play against. I think Soldier is A tier as well, because he's Hitscan, and Hitscan's very good. I think he's slightly weaker than these other 2 though. Although he's still just very good. I mean, there's no reason not to pick him in a lot of cases. If he's just like, he's just kind of like the free comfort pick for basically everyone. So if you can run him into anything. You might have a lot of trouble into the kind of tracer comps, but so does like every hero in the game because tracer is overpowered. But it's okay. Sombra is S tier, broken hero. I've been ranting about this hero since her release. Everything about her is dumb. Perma-invis is dumb. Any sort of invis is dumb. Perma-invis is by far one of the worst things ever added to Overwatch. Genuinely doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It completely deletes a core aspect of the game, which is pathing. You don't need to give a shit about your pathing on this character anymore, because you just go invisible and go wherever the fuck you want, which means you get free flank a lot of the time, which means shit players are really good at her, which is lame. You can also just perma-hack the tank, which is lame. Everything about her is super lame. Way too strong, does too much damage, negates too many abilities completely for free. It's cheesy as shit. She should be reworked. Sim is C tier. She's not very good in ranked. She's very good in scrims. That's pretty self-explanatory. She requires coordinated play to work. So she's not terrible, but she's not great. Torb is super good because his health bar is enormous, and the character plays itself most of the time. It's like, he's probably the best projectile hero in the game, to be honest. Maybe, I mean, you could call Sojourn a projectile hero, but projectile DPS, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I would consider Sojourn a Hitscan because her 90% of her powers are real, but you know what I mean? Torb is just super good at staying alive. He's good at dealing with flankers. Easy to play. Bullets are enormous and do a shitload of damage. But, like, self-explanatory. Tracer's S, super overpowered. Super overpowered. What can I say? The reason she's overpowered on the nerf they did to her, where they give her recall an extra second, was really dumb. That's not what the character needed. That's not why she was OP. She was fine for 6 years. The problem with the character is she got a health buff, and that her bullets became enormous, which means she could shoot people from further away, which meant that you needed less tracking ability because you didn't need to be as close, which means the target didn't need to move as fast, which means your aim didn't need to be as good. So because you stood further away, the target appeared to be moving slower, which meant they were easier to track, and because your bullets were bigger, you hit more on average anyway. So the character just became insanely overpowered because she became easier to play, and she's just like way stronger. So she's easier and stronger. Dumb changes. I hate the Tracer changes. They removed a lot of the skill from the character and just made it so anyone can pick her, which is really fucking stupid. Venture is A tier. That character's broken as fuck. Unless you hard counter her with like shit like RAM and like general CC, then she sucks balls. I think, to be honest, designing a character that gets shield health for pressing her buttons might be one of the most unbelievably retarded things I've ever seen added to the game. Pressing a cooldown and it gives you shield health is ludicrous. Also, her one-shot combo is like, I can't even begin to describe why they thought it was balanced. It's super easy to do, and you can do it on basically anything, and they just die. I don't know. I really genuinely do not know who thought it was a good idea to make a one-shot combo be basically a fighting move, like a fighting game sequence of like where you just press the buttons in the right order and you kill them. Venture is unbelievably broken. Unless you go like RAM and like general CC stuff, then she's just not super great. Widow's S tier because she's Widow and she has been for years. She is fundamentally broken. She deletes a core aspect of the game. She removes a fun element of the game. The problem with Widow is that you don't actually have to do anything to be extremely effective on her. You can miss every single shot and still be effective. Problem with Widow is she's really good at controlling space by herself. With general support from her team as she has her front line. So by holding angles, you just kind of delete a zone where you kind of remove that area from being traversable until it's dealt with. So she kind of forces you to change your entire comp to work around her, which is really unhealthy, and I hope they delete her from the game. I think Ana is C tier. I think she's just not good right now in comparison to the other supports. I think she herself is not that bad, but there's no reason to pick her when you can just pick something else. Anti-nade is still pretty good. Sleep is still pretty good, and Tracer just kills her for free because Tracer's overpowered, so Ana isn't as good anymore. Baptiste is really, really good. I think he's A tier because it's Baptiste and it's a DPS hero in the support role. I don't think I need to say any more. You've probably seen me playing Baptiste. Therefore, he's broken. Brig is A tier. Brig is insanely good because she's great against Dive, good against Tracer. She's pretty super fucking easy to play. If you just understand how the character works, then you're going to spend like 90% of your game thinking about the future and preparing of what's going to happen in a couple of fights, more so than what you do in your current fight, because the character plays itself in a lot of cases, and it really doesn't require all that much skill to do anything. You know what, now that I'm looking at this tier list, I'm actually going to move D.Va and Winston down to B tier. And I'm also going to move Mauga down to... no, I'm going to keep Mauga in A. I think Mauga's good. Just because I'm not a big fan of them being up there with like Baptiste. Like, I think Baptiste is so much better than Monkey in terms of like raw power output, so it doesn't make sense. Ilari's S because it's Ilari and she's just a free character again. That's bizarre. It's almost like all the characters that work for free are really good. Who could have seen that coming? Ilari is really good because you just throw the healing pylon down, which means you just spawn a Mercy to heal people for you, and then you just walk around a DPS. Your bullets are enormous. They do a shitload of damage. She's easy to play. She has mobility creep, so she's really hard to dive, especially in a team that's kind of bunkery, like with an Orisa. And she's just like, literally just a character you pick when you need a little bit more damage. I've had genuine plat players out damage me playing Ilari while I was playing Bap, which is unbelievable to really think about, that a plat Ilari player is capable of outputting a greater stat line than a top 500 Baptiste in a plat game. That's ludicrous, but it's all good, man. Maybe I'm just bad and the character's fine. Kiriko's S tier. Broken character, Suzu TP, Kunai, wall climb, tiny hitbox, Kitsune. I don't need to say anymore. Every aspect of her kit is overpowered. I hate that fucking hero. Life Weaver is A tier. Life Grip is one of the dumbest abilities ever added to the game. I will never understand quite why they decided to add it. It is literally just a get out of jail free card. It's almost like they like putting that shit in the game, considering how many heroes have it. And it's weird because all the heroes who have it are absolutely despised by everyone apart from the people who play that character. If you say Life Grip is a balanced ability or healthy for the game, then I'm sorry, you are a dumb human being who doesn't understand the core aspect of the game, because Life Grip completely ruins the fundamentals and the core aspects of the game, where essentially the point of the game is that the person who makes more mistakes tends to lose. Unless you have Life Weaver, then you can make as many mistakes as you want because you're going to get life gripped anyway. Similar situation with Suzu and why that character is bullshit. Anyway, Lucio is B tier. I think he's pretty good, but I also think he gets kind of rolled sometimes. I think it's really easy to kill him, like all the time. If you're a Reddit Lucio, you don't get to play the game. If you're a team-based IGL Lucio, calling pathing, calling rotations, cooldown usage, all that shit, then he's good. So if you're a Reddit Lucio, he's a throw pick. If you're an IGL Lucio, he's S tier, so I'm putting him in B. Mercy is the horrible hero. I don't need to explain anymore. Damage boost and res, ludicrously overpowered. Every other part of her kit sucks giant balls. So she's in D tier. Moira is insanely overpowered. That's S tier. I don't think anyone needs to ask why. The fucking lifesteal is dumb, and it does way too much. I don't think she should have lifesteal at all. I think lifesteal is a dumb premise in it itself. A skill orb is a stupid ability that is just free value that you just press on cooldown. It is literally just an alt charge battery button that you just push to get some alt charge. It's dumb. Fade is one of the best escape abilities in the game, and it's on a 6-second cooldown, and it's easy to use, and you can fly with it, which is really fucking dumb. The way her character auto-aims is really dumb. Her healing output is way too high considering it's a large AoE burst that goes over a large region that's sustainable and does healing over time, which is really dumb. Every aspect of the kit of her kit statistically is overpowered, so she's S tier, of course. Zen is B tier because he dies to Monkey easily, and Tracer's very good, which means he falls over. But if you don't play dive comp, then he's insanely good. If you play dive comp, then he's really trash. Anyway, this is my tier list of Season 10, and I hate this game. And I'm claiming to rank 1 this season, so if you see me on the leaderboard, don't pick Venture, because I hate that character.